Hi there. Job to be done is a term coined by Clayton Christensen, and what it means that we should view the consumer in a different way than we are used today. We should not go and ask the consumer what they want, because then we will get wrong answers. Instead, we should look what they want to achieve. Let me give you an example. If you go to a customer, to a mango grower in Africa, and you ask him, what do you want when it comes to fruit flies? He will say, well, can you give me something that costs less money and give better results? Instead of 50% damage, it will be less. And instead of, let's say, 600 euros per hectare, it will be less. Then you say, okay, let me think about this. You go back to the lab, you work on something, you go back and you say, look, I have something great for you. It costs 500 euros per hectare, and infestation, instead of 50, it is 25%. He says, great, I like it. Now, if this person is selling his produce in the next village, maybe this will be good for him. But what if he's trying to sell his produce in another country? Export. Then it's not going to do the job, because if you are a mango exporter, you need zero infestation, and the cost, well, it is important but less important. So when you understand what they need to achieve, this is the important thing. And we want to bring euros and dollars to our consumers, meaning export. So that meant that we need to look far beyond just the control of fruit flies, even when the farmers are asking and say, this is what I want. We need to see what they want to achieve, and then we can give them a much better solution for their needs and problems. Bye-bye. Hi there. So, job to be done. Once I understand exactly what is my job, which is not only the technology to control fruit flies, but to use this power to help countries, to help farmers, to help consumers, to help the environment, it is becoming much easier for me to design the business model. And the business model now, as I see it, is to bridge what those farmers, those countries find it very difficult to do, which is increase the yield, increase the income per kilo by taking the fruits all the way from wherever it is to the good markets in Europe, in America, wherever those markets are. This is the job to be done. And how do I do it? This is another question for another chapter. Bye-bye. Hi there. Well, if you want to do something good for your customer, in my case, farmers, you need to know them better than they know themselves. And here is an example of the problems that I was facing. When I asked the farmers, what do you want? They said, well, we want lower fruit fly infestation, not 50%, 40 or 30 or 20. Or we want better irrigation system, or we want better crop protection, and so on. Now, what they ask me in my terms is they ask for efficiency innovation, and they ask for sustaining innovation. Both are kind of innovation that we in the West, we know very well, because we are already having very advanced agriculture, like this apple orchard where I am right now, where I grew up. And in this orchard, the yield is like, depends, between 40 to 80 tons per hectare. So it's really, really very high. The quality is the top. And all you want is, as a farmer, is just to keep it as high and maybe make it a little bit better, or save on the cost. Okay? Less cost. So this is efficiency and sustaining innovation. But when we go to other countries, to Africa, to Asia, to Latin America, what they need is not sustaining innovation. And they don't need efficiency innovation. They need a totally, completely different kind of innovation, which is disruptive innovation. They need something completely different. And this is not what we bring them. When we bring irrigation system, no, it's not disruptive innovation. I will explain later why. When we bring a better spray, it's not disruptive innovation. Even not a technology like Freedom that takes the fruit fly infestation from 50 or 80% to less than 1% damage. They need disruptive. And this is what I understood. If we want to do something which is a game changer, we need to do something that they need. Not something that will be good for someone like me in Israel or in the West. So let's talk about this a little bit more. It's not easy. Bye-bye. Hi there. I am now in an olive orchard in the Palestinian Authority. Okay, so it's not Africa. It is only like 10 minutes from Israel. It's not far. And in Israel, there are also olive orchards, many olive orchards. Something like 50 years ago, all the olive orchards in Israel looked like this. And what is the difference? The difference is that this olive orchard is about 1/10 of the yield compared to the olive orchards now in Israel. And the quality in this olive orchard is very low compared to the quality of the olives in the Israeli state. By the way, those olives suffer from fruit flies, about 50% fruit damage. And when I cooperated with Palestinian farmers and tried to help by reducing the fruit fly infestation, I found out that it's not enough. Yeah, we managed to reduce the infestation, but it was not enough to bring up the income to the level of the Israeli. Because to do this, we need everything, all the ecosystem. And if you bring just one thing, although it is very important, it is not sufficient. And this is the interconnected theory by Clayton Christensen that he's talking about. You cannot take just one thing. Disruptive innovation is saying, look, we understand that the starting point here, and let's say in Israel, is very different. We understand that if we want to improve things here, we need to start with something that is more affordable and accessible, lower price and easier to apply. We cannot take everything like it is in Israel, all the experts, all the technologies, all the know-how. No, you can't. It is really very hard. Okay? All the infrastructure. And it's not only the orchard. It is the greenhouse where the plants are coming. It is where the olives are going, where you press out the olive oil, where the market, the marketing, everything. So this is really hard. So you need to come out with a new business model. And disruptive innovation is first of all about business model. Sometimes you also have a novel technology, a standing out technology, okay, that is helping you, but not always. So this is what I understood. If I want to change the state of the mango growers and other farmers in Africa, in Asia, and other places, I need to think of the package, everything that will be different, a business model that will be suitable for those farmers. And it is not going to be the same business model that is suitable for the Israeli or the Europeans or the Americans farmers. No, it is very different. And when I understood this, I said, okay, now I understand many years that I was mistaken. Now I understand why when you just try to bring something unique, even if it is like reducing the fruit fly infestation in this field from 50% damage to 1% damage, still not going to work, because you need the entire package, all of it. This is disruptive innovation, when you manage to do it with more accessible and easy to apply. Bye-bye. Hi there. Allow me to share a story with you about a group of mango growers that came to Israel a couple of years ago, and during a week they traveled all over Israel, and they met farmers and companies and packing house and nurseries and everything. And I met them during this trip, and I met them at the last day, just before they were about to go back to India. And I asked them, okay, so you've been here. Now, what is the one thing that you can take home to change what you are doing and your results? And each of the members in the group said something else, said something different. No one said the same thing. And this is what it is about. There is no one thing that you can take from Israel to India, to Africa, wherever you are, and that will make your agriculture the same as it is in Israel. If you want to have the same agriculture as it is in Israel, you need to copy everything as it is in Israel to wherever you are. And this is nearly impossible. The universities, the R&Ds, the farmers, the land, the varieties, the packing house, the know-how, the marketing, the markets, the packaging, everything. Impossible. Okay? So while you can maybe copy the irrigation here, right? Or the variety, you cannot copy everything. And this is what I'm trying to deliver to you. If we want to make Africa as good as Israel by copy-paste, it's going to be impossible. What we need to do is to come up with a disruptive innovation. In this case, we are talking about a business model, meaning we want to get the same results, maybe even better, but not by copy-paste what we have here to Africa. This will be impossible. Now in the comment, let me know your take from this and what do you think. Bye-bye. Hi there. How do you combine the needs of the farmers with the needs of the environment and the needs of the consumers. What I understood that I need to put everything together in and give it at the same time to the same people, affordable, and easy, in an easy way. This was for me a breakthrough. It sounds easy, but it's not. It was a breakthrough. And I will share the next 2 videos, maybe even more, just to talk about this. And you will see I will bridge it to theories and practice that we already know. Bye-bye. Hi there. In the book Guns, Germs, and Steel by Jared Diamond, he's talking about 13,000 years of human history and about how development was done and why and where. And what he shows that time after time, it is all thanks to agriculture. Not because it is agriculture, because agriculture is a step towards what we are doing today. It's a kind of industry, if you want, but it is all thanks to agriculture. And how agriculture developed? There was only one way it developed. It developed when people at a certain place got at the same time all the tools, the entire package, not just 1 or 2 or 3, all the package. If one of the tools in the package was missing, it was gone. And this is why even just a few hundred years ago, we could go to some places in this world and still find farmers that are using ancient system of agriculture, or even being hunters and gatherers. It is because they didn't get the box of the package, all of it. So what it means is that you can make this disruptive innovation, this huge jump in agriculture as well as in other industries, but we are not talking about this now, if you bring the entire package. Okay? So what I am doing now is getting the entire package. Now, in this next video, I will talk about the same thing from a different perspective. Bye-bye. Hi there. The agricultural revolution happened because of the agricultural package that Jared Diamond is talking about in his book, Guns, Germs, and Steel. It came from the Fertile Crescent, and then it went all over the world, almost. And where it got to, the agriculture just jumped, and with it, civilization. So it's not that there was zero agriculture in other places, such as Americas. No, there was, but it was very, very back compared to the agriculture in Europe at that time, Asia, the Mediterranean, and so on. So what it is about? And is it unique to agriculture? Well, Clayton Christensen is saying, no, it's not unique to agriculture. In every industry, when you want to make a huge jump, you need to bring a package. Okay? He's calling it in another name, which is interdependence. And the name of the theory, in his words, is the theory of interdependence and modularity. What it means that when you make a huge jump, in his words, this is disruptive innovation, you need to bring the entire package. It's not enough just one thing. What is a huge package and where do we see it? For example, when the first mainframe computers came to the world, the same company, IBM for example, had to build everything from the beginning to the end, including the hardware, the software, and everything else. Later, more companies could get in and make parts of it, and this is the modularity. But the beginning, one company had to do it. It was all interdependent. The same with agriculture. And now when we need to bring a huge jump of agriculture to emerging economies and to take the average income from about $1.9 a day to, let's say, $19 or $50 a day, it's not enough to use the kind of innovation that is sustainable innovation, just to improve it bit by bit. Or the efficiency innovation, which means to take and just save the cost, decrease the cost. This is not enough, not for people that their income today is so low. So what they need is disruptive innovation. And for this, it means, and it has to be, that one company will bring the package, all of it. There is no other way. This is at least from history, what we see. And this is what I said, I got it, I see. It's not going to be one by one. Yes, there are many technologies in the world. There are many people with a lot of know-how and many things. But if we want to make that change, or maybe the reason why this change did not come until today is because there was no package. And the package is the disruptive innovation. Disruptive innovation is never about the technology, is always about the business model, is about this kind of package. And this is what I understood. And when I understood it, things started getting a little bit easier. We'll talk about this more. Bye-bye. Hi there. Well, until now, if you are with me and you saw the previous videos, you know that I understand that there is a need for a package. And the package itself is the disruptive innovation. The next question was very challenging, and I share it with you, and that is, what kind of package? What is the basis to decide the package? The package for a territory, for a pest, for a crop, for irrigation, for market. So what is this package going to answer? And imagine that you are there instead of me. What will your package be? What do you think I should look or you should look? Okay, so stay with me for the next video and write down in the comment, what do you think the package should be, the basis for the package. Bye-bye. Hi there. Well, I understand that I need a package. But what are the criteria for the package? This is now my big challenge. And I have no clue. Because I just know what is my mission, I know what is my vision, but how do I get there? And so I get back to my roots. to what I want. And I want is the same. It is for farmers to have better livelihood, for the environment, look around me, to be as green and beautiful and harmless by nature, people's wrongdoing, and for people, consumers, to eat healthier food. What better? Now, at the same time, my challenge now is bigger than it was at the beginning, because when I just started my journey, I was thinking about myself as a farmer. But now I was involved in Africa, in Asia, and I need to think about those farmers. And what do I do? How do I make their lives better? So what is the criteria? I went back and I asked myself, okay, so what do I need to do for those farmers, for those countries, to be able to elevate their income, not by 5% or 10% or 20 or 25 or 30, which is very good, but not in my view. But how do I elevate the income of those farmers by hundreds of percent, maybe thousands of percent? How do I do it? And here started to emerge how the future package in my eyes should look, or at least what it should do. And once you know what it should do, then you construct everything around it, not the other way. So it's not that I had something ready. No, I didn't. But slowly, I started to understand what it should do, what it should deliver. Bye-bye. Hi there. So, if you follow this video series, you see that I'm going in circles. It doesn't mean that I'm not going forward, but many times I repeat to the same point. One of the points is, well, it's not a point, it's really the root, and that is what I want to achieve in life, what I want to do. So once I understand that there is a need for a package, you hear this word package all the time. It's good. Keep it in mind. You need it. You will need it. Then I ask, okay, so what is the one thing that I want to achieve? And the one thing that I found that really makes my decisions easier is not about the technology and what I can do, BioFit can do, but it is about what the farmers need, what the consumers want. And once I understand this, it became easier, because what I understand is that the farmers need and want higher income. Don't ask them how much higher, because if you go to a farmer and you ask him how much higher, he will give you a number. Maybe for him it is good, but not in my view. For example, many African farmers, mango growers, which I work with a lot, if they make between $200 to $1,000 or euros per hectare, that is very good. If you ask them how much more, they will say, so we want $300 euros, or we want 1,100 euros per hectare. But that is not good enough. Even the very good mango growers in Africa, they make maybe 5,000 euros per hectare, 10,000 euros per hectare. Not good enough, in my view, Because I'm coming from a place where a farmer should make 40,000, 50,000, 60,000 euros per hectare. So you see the gap, right? So that was the first thing that I saw. About the second thing, next video. Bye bye. Hi there. So the first thing that I know, the first elementary thing for me is not myself, is the farmers. What do they need to make a huge change for their lives, for the country? The second thing is about the consumers. In my view, the consumers today and in the future would love to have something that is much healthier, tastier, and environmentally friendly, and of course sustainable. And by the way, not based on something that you do for volunteering or that you need international financials or something like this. No, they just want something good that makes sense for their health and the environment and the farmers, and it is sustainable in all ways. So that was the second thing, and based on this I started building the package that I did not have until this moment. Bye bye. Hi there. Well, by now you already know me, that I'm motivated by the passion to bring a significant change to agriculture, to health, and to the environment. By the way, behind me is Latrun Monastery, which is a beautiful place in Israel. You should come and visit. It is surrounded by a lot of agriculture. Beautiful. So, if you know what I'm motivated, at this point, I understand that the criteria to decide what will be in this package is not subject to something that I already have, maybe, or maybe not. It is subject to what I want to achieve. And what is the fastest way I can achieve that change of changing the health of people, consuming better and healthier produce, improving the livelihood of farmers and the environment. And that is the criteria. Whatever I am looking, wherever I am going, I'm looking to understand where I can get it the fastest way. Technology, the crop is one of the things that of course I need. Know-how, and one critical thing, which is the business model. This is not going to be made out of donations or something, or subsidies. It has to make sense from a business point of view for everybody that is involved in it. Bye bye. Hi there. So now we know what I need in the package. And let me repeat it. It is, we need a crop, we need technology, we need know-how, we need business model. Let's start with the business model. Why? Because business model is the foundation to anything that you do. Anything comes after the business model. If you don't understand this, you have no way of bringing a significant change to anything that you are doing. Doesn't matter what technology you have. Doesn't matter what crop and yield and whatever you have. And know-how. Doesn't matter. Business model is the basic. And maybe I will speak more about this later, but this is the first thing, is the business model. Market, it is so essential, and I said it in the past, I will repeat it now. The business model and the concept of package makes disruptive innovation in this case. Anything you will hear from now on is not the technology, not the crop, not the know-how. It is the concept of the package and the business model that I will speak later. Bye bye. Hi there. The second part of the package is the crop. What crop do we focus on? And what I ask myself is, what crop has the most significant potential to increase the income in the shortest time? And this is for the farmer. And for the consumers, to improve the health. And for the environment, to contribute to a better environment. And I find one crop in Africa and Asia that by far exceed all the other crops in its potential to increase the income, improve the environment and the health. And that is mangoes. Why? Because mangoes is the number one fruit crop in Africa and Asia. And it is a premium crop that currently the income is very, very low for those farmers. They lose about 50% and even up to 100% of the yield. And they use lots of chemicals, which is not good for the environment and the health. And so, yes. And by the way, in Israel, I know that the income can be as high as 50, 60,000 euros per hectare, while in those places, many times it varies between 100 euros per hectare to 1,000 euros per hectare. So, yeah, crop is mango. Bye-bye. Hi there. After a quick climb up the hill, the Latrun Monastery is behind me, and the scenery is beautiful. So, we said for the package we need a business model, we need the crop to focus on, to start, and then we need technology and know-how. Now, usually technology is the number one. This is how most companies are looking at it. Look at the projects around the world, especially in Africa and Asia, and you will see it's about technology. A company says, I have a disruptive technology. Now let's use it. In my eyes, in my view, technology is only a tool. Once you know what you want to achieve, and you have the business model. So technology for mangoes, well, mangoes has a lot of problems, many pests. In Africa and Asia also it is a question of irrigation, fertigation and all this. It is endless. But there is one thing that is critical, one thing, and that is fruit flies. Unless you get over the barrier of fruit flies, which not only take between 40 to 80% of the yield, but also unable to export. And export for a good business is what we are looking, not to sell in the next village. So this is the number one barrier. So there was no solution, and therefore I had to take care of that problem, and I did with the technology that we call freedom with E at the end. And we developed it, and it is working great against the fruit flies in Africa, and we have another one in Asia, and so on. So it takes the infestation from 50-80% to less than 1%, which means export quality. Anything over this is technology, and there is endless of what you can get in terms of technology and know-how. This is secondary still. The first is to get over the barrier of fruit flies, and technology to increase the yield, to increase the quality, and of course know-how are two things that will come later in the package, after we make sure it is possible to grow and export free of fruit flies. Bye bye. Hi there. In the process of constructing the package, the question for me was, where do I focus my efforts? Is it going to be on the technology, on the know-how, on the crop, marketing, business model? And very soon I found out, you can hear the bells from the monastery, that know-how and technology is something that I have many friends in Israel and other places that are familiar with it, and they will be gladly happy to help with it. And of course you need to adjust it to a different place. The market for mangoes is huge, and the demand is great. That is also not the problem. The problem is to construct the business model. And constructing the business model is what I had to deal next. Bye bye. Hi there. Business model is something that was and still is the most challenging. How it started. Once I understood that I need a special business model is when I saw the gap, the huge gap between Africa and Asian farmers to Israeli ones. And I'm talking particularly about the income per hectare, which in Israel typically is 50,000 euros per hectare. In Africa and Asia, it is a few hundred euros per hectare, maybe a few thousand euros per hectare. This is huge. The yield in Africa is only a few hundred kilograms per hectare, or maybe a few thousands, up to typically 10,000 kilos per hectare. In Israel, 40, 60, 80 kilograms per hectare. The price per kilogram in Africa, in Asia, it can be just a few cents, 5, 10 cents, 20 cents. In Israel, far higher. So how do I make the difference? And at the beginning it was overwhelming, and I didn't see a way to overcome this difference. And I said, okay, there is no way. I just see those orchards. I know it as a farmer. And what we should do is to set an example by having new farms, all from the scratch, from the nursery all the way to the market. But even that, the value chain, in many places there is no value chain. There is no access to premium markets, to Europe, to America. So we need to build that too. That means huge investment, and also to wait many years. I even had in mind to ask Israeli farmers to go live and work and have their own farms in Africa, just to show it to the African farmers. And there is no better way than showing by example. But eventually I saw that it will take too much time and the cost is too high. I will need a lot of investment, which I didn't want. So I gave it up and I went to the next step. Bye-bye. Hi there. So after the experience of trying to establish farms in Africa that belongs to us, and grow mango, maybe other fruits, which didn't work out. What we saw is, one, that there is great interest on the African side. For example, I've met two ministers of agriculture in Africa, and both of them told me their great interest in having such farms where the local farmers can see how it is correctly done and can copy. So that was very encouraging. At the same time, we saw that we don't want it, because what it means that we, and personally myself, I will have land that I own, and I don't want to own land in Africa. And it's a great investment. It also means that I will not be able to extend my operation as much as I would like, because I will have to be focused on those few farms where we start everything from the very beginning. So that was good. At the same time, we said, but what do we like about this? And what do others like about this? And what we saw is that people like to know that we are there. Both sides, the African and the European, the Israelis, the Western, they like us to be there because everybody trusts us. That was very, very important. Next chapter. Bye-bye. Hi there. So we saw that everybody wants us to be active in Africa, and everybody trusts us. That was very, very important understanding for us. And next thing that we understood and is, okay, so what we are looking, if we are not having our own farms, that we do everything perfect, the best way we know with our people in Africa, then what next? And we were looking and we didn't know. We didn't know because we didn't see anything that can finance what we needed, what they needed. And finally, we decided to settle, and there are hundreds of millions of farmers in Africa. So why don't we start with those that currently are doing okay compared to the other, maybe even good compared to the others. And those are the farmers that already export from Africa to premium markets. It is important for them. We can help them in at least two things, you know. One, to increase what they wanted, and that is the income per hectare. This is what they wanted. Second is to do what the country wants, and of course the farmers. all those farmers are constantly under risk of export ban. Constantly, because of biosecurity reasons. So we can help them on this issue as well. And this is exactly what we saw. And we said, yes, we think that's a good thing. Of course, this is a way of getting hard currency into Africa. Bye-bye.